Good evening, Javier Franco, Perspective from My Porch, Steps for Success Life Coach founder. As I was the other day, I went to Abilene and it got dark on me. I was doing some errands over there that I needed to get done, and as I was driving back, um, it was dark, and I was following the lights in my truck. You know those lines on the highway, those white lines. I don't know what they're called, and then the middle lane lines. They're broken up, and I would follow those, and I knew that as long as I followed those guidelines, those lines on the road, that I would stay on the highway. Uh, as I looked behind me in my mirror, um, it was dark. There was not that much traffic for some reason, and it was just dark, and I couldn't see nothing behind me. And I thought, how ironic that sometimes we do that in life. We look at the back, and that we can't. There was just darkness in our life in the back. There's just our past is just sometimes a dark night, and we've overcome so many issues. We've overcome so many problems. We've overcome situations in our lives, and we go forward. As we go forward, there's always going to be a guideline. There's always be something that we look forward to. There's always been going to be a goal. And I talk a lot about goals, and it's very important that we keep goals in our lives, because as long as we're going forward, as long as we're following our heart and our minds and we're thinking about it, as long as we're going towards those dotted lines that we need to follow, that we need to do, that we are needing to follow, we're going to get to our destination. Hopefully, a safe destination. Of course, there's going to be obstacles that come around. And when those obstacles come around, then we have to learn how to maneuver around them. I wrote something today in one of the books, in the book that I wrote, and I said, strength comes from the troubles and issues and problems that we learn to overcome. If we are stuck in one battle, and we're continuing that one battle, addiction, if we're doing that one battle of a crisis, and we're not moving out of that situation, then that we have not overcome the obstacle that we need to overcome. We have to focus on getting out of that little box. I see so many people just constantly on the negativity. Their mind is always on the negative, and it bothers me. And sometimes I want to reach out and say, let's look at the positive in the situation. And they're constantly. And if you're one of these people, I just want you to know that there is positive, but you have to start looking for the positive things in life. I struggle in walking a lot of times, and there's days that I just hurt. There's days that my feet swell. There's days that I just don't know. Um, I'm just in pain, and I don't really tell people that, and it's frustrating. There's things that I can't do some at times, and I struggle with that. But at the same time, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep going forward. Yes, there's times that I have to be by myself. There's times that I need that me time. And that's very important for you as a person, as an individual, that you have that me time, that you take time to be by yourself, take the phone away, take social media away, and it doesn't have to be for a long period of time. But you need to. I believe that we all need to find a place where we need to set aside from people and from social media, and regroup and think about the situation and break it down into small packages. A while ago, we were unloading a trailer, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. But in order for us to do it, we had to break it down into small loads. It took us a little bit longer, but we accomplished what we needed to do, and we got it done. A lot of times when we're looking at a situation, we see the big picture. We see a big picture, and we get scared, and we get nervous, and we're like, "Well, how am I going to do this?" And then the negativity comes. Well, that's too much. This obstacle is too big. And we just keep making excuses, and then the negative thoughts come in. as we're going through our situations in life, our obstacles, we need to learn to break them down so that we can take this problem, solve that problem, and then solve the next problem, and suddenly solve the next problem. And you say, well, it's just a big problem that can be figured out. And that's why it's important that we take me time. I take a lot of me time. I take a lot of time, and I need to start doing that more often. When I go fishing, I take the me time. I go by myself. I think. I think about the situations that I'm in. I think about what the problems are. And I learn, and I've learned that I need to focus and be guided. And of course, with my situation, uh, I trust in God. I trust in my beliefs, in my religious beliefs, that I need to focus on that, and I get that guidance through prayer. I don't know what you get guidance through, but I know that I get the guidance through that. In the meantime, we learn to follow those lines like the highway. Put the past in the past, and we can't do nothing about the past, so we move forward. The example that I can give you, sometimes you tell your child to go to the room. You say, clean the room. Oh, it's so much. I told a family one time, well, let's break it down. And I said, on Monday you clean one side with this side of the room. On Tuesday you clean the next side of the room. Don't touch anything on the right side of the room. And then you and Wednesday you clean the other wall. On Thursday you clean the other wall. And we divided it into a fourth of the room. The child then saw that it was a smaller, it was the obstacle or the problem or the thing that he didn't like to do it was in smaller increments. Once he learned how to do it in smaller increments, he started learning how to clean the room by Friday. And I told him, on Friday, if everything's clean, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, guess what? You get to do what you want to do, and you're done. So hopefully Monday the same routine happens. We broke it down, and that's the same thing we need to do in our lives. We need to break down the problems. We need to break down the situations and think about it. Sometimes we're so cluttered in our mind because we have so many things going in our mind. We need to and I'm talking to myself too. We need to stay away from social media. We need to stay away from the groupies, whatever you're thinking about, and focus on the issues at hand, and love yourself, trust yourself, and be guided by something in your life. Be guided that you want to make a positive decision. If you're constantly in that negative situation, if you're constantly having negative thoughts, then we need to move away from those negative thoughts and make it positive. We have to start looking even the most positive. When I look at weeds, there's always going to be a little beautiful flower at the top, and I think, what a beautiful flower. But yet the bottom is just the ugly part of the weed. But the beautiful part is when the flower is sticking at the very top and shining and making a positive thing in the life of somebody. Let's think positive. Let's follow the highway. Let's follow the road, and let's learn how to overcome negative situations in our lives. This is Javier Franco. Have a happy Thanksgiving, guys, and I'll probably see you all again this week. Thank you, and have a great day.